Testing, testing. I'm alive. I don't know if I'm ready, but I am alive. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Hi. So real quick, let's review our words from last week. The new words that we covered last week. Anybody remember any of them? We learned av. What's av? Father, right? And m. Mother. Good. How about lakach, the root, lakach. Lamed kuf chet. What does that mean?
Does that have to do with going or
Take.
taking?
Taking, lakach. And then we also talked about asa, the verb asa, la'asot, which means
Say it again.
asa. Ayin, sin, he. Asa. It means to make or do. And then I think, let's see. I don't remember for sure which one was last week. I'd have to look at the notes. I didn't separate it out from based on the week. So oh, I never even sent out the picture of the whiteboard last week. All right, so other recent ones that we learned were tzedek. Do you remember the word tzedek? Tzedek. Righteousness or righteous. How about ayin? What is ayin? Eye. Ayin is an eye. And then who, the pronoun who means he, and he means she. Okay, so those are I think those mostly the ones we did last week. So this week we're going to do the word yashav. Anybody know that one already?
That's
Yashav.
like the place where you go when you go to Israel and you want to hang out with everybody.
Close.
Or is that the wrong
Yeah, it's related to that root, like a yeshuv. Is that what you're talking about?
Or
Or a
yeshiva.
yeshiva.
School.
It's
Yeshav
related.
is
It's
a
related.
word or something.
So a yeshuv would be like a village, a town, that type of thing, right?
Okay.
A yeshiva would be it's like a school, like you're talking about, right? Where you go to learn Torah. And then, but this is the verb, so this basic root has to do with sitting or dwelling.
You're talking about the shev or the shav, but the shav, you added the what is it?
These letters, yeah. Right. So the basic root though is yud, shin, vet, right? So it's the same, from the same root word. All of these words come from that same root word. So the word itself has to do with sitting or dwelling. So if you notice, this is like a place where you go to learn Torah, so you're sitting to learn, right? This is a settlement, basically, a town. So it's like a place where people dwell, an area where people live.
So, is that, I'm sorry, it went away. Shabbat, like Sabbath. Is
Close.
it part of Sabbath?
Shabbat has two of those letters, right? Shin and vet. But technically, I guess it's not related because Shabbat has to do with like stopping, ceasing.
It's not, doesn't have to
It
do
really
with sitting
doesn't.
down and resting and.
Yeah, not technically. It doesn't have to do with that, but
Okay.
but it is interesting, right? That they're very similar. So there could be a relationship there, but it's not the same root.
Okay.
Okay, so yashav, having to do with sitting or dwelling. You look up here. Who can find the spot where it has that word? You see that root up there anywhere? Pretty sure I just saw it, so it's got to be there. Oh yeah, it's in the first line.
At the end there?
Yep, there toward the end. Vayashavta. Vayashavta.
What's that?
And you will dwell. Yashav. So this word having to do with sitting or dwelling, like when you were commanded to sit in sukkahs, to dwell in Sukkot for 7 days. That's why some people would say that all you have to do is like eat your meals in the sukkah, because you just need to sit in the sukkah. And then some people would say, no, you should do everything in the sukkah. You should sleep and eat, and everything you do should be in the sukkah. So that's why, because the word itself has both of those meanings, dwelling or just sitting. So that's like the least would be just to sit, and then the most would be to actually live in the sukkah. So they're both covered in the commandment.
So is that where it goes that you have to sleep on the ground?
Well,
I've heard that to actually do sukkot, you have to sleep on the ground.
I haven't heard that, but that's interesting.
So the sukkah can be like a quarry.
It's a sukkah is like, I mean, basically it's some kind of a little tent type structure or whatever, but I mean, the Jewish tradition has like very specific things about what actually makes a sukkah or whatever, but most people wouldn't say that you have to sleep in the sukkah. Like, a lot of people do, but it's not like something that everybody does or whatever. So, but the main thing is to at least sit in the sukkah, because the command is yashav, right? It's with that word. So that's like the basic thing, is at least make sure that you sit in the sukkah on those 7 days. Okay? All right, another word that we're going to do. So we've talked about this a little bit, but from the root, bet, vav, and aleph, does anyone remember what this one means? Bo. What does it mean? Come. Okay. And then, so we're going to look at another verb that comes from this root, okay? So when it means come, it's going to be based from this form of the verb, okay? So lavo means to come. So that would be the infinitive form of the verb, to come. And then the new word that I want to learn now is lehavi. Okay, so this comes from the same root letters, the bet, vav, and aleph. Lehavi. And this means to bring. Okay? So this is just the simple one. You're doing it yourself, right? I am coming. And then this would be the transitive form where you're bringing something else, right? I'm making something else come with me. So I'm bringing it. So they both come from that same root, having to do with coming. And so this is the basic verb, lavo, to come, and then lehavi is to bring. Okay, does that make sense? So this is the root here, which means to come, right? It's going to have to do with coming. And then this is the infinitive form, to come and to bring. Right, so you notice the lamed on the front. Lamed on the front of a word means to, right? So any infinitive form of a verb, to bring, to come, to run, to sing, to sit, all of those would start with a lamed. See if we have an infinitive form of a verb up here. I don't see. Okay, here's one. Oh no, that's not one because that's the past tense of that. Yep. So there's not one up here that I see right now, but we'll keep our eyes out if we see one in the reading today. Okay, so lehavi is to bring. So the main way that you're going to be able to look at this verb and tell if it means to bring or to come is going to be this yud right here. So you notice how this one has the yud in between the bet and aleph, and this one has the vav. So in different forms of the word, you might have something like that, or this, right? So you can tell this one comes from come, right? Lavo, tavo, and this one comes from this one because it has the yod in between the two letters. So that's going to be the main indicator, is watching for that yod there, because all the forms, except past tense, actually there's one form that wouldn't, but the forms of this will either have the yod in between there, or they'll have a hey before the bet and aleph. So it's going to look more like this setup, right, with the hey and the yod. And these ones will be shorter words, and they'll either have the vav, or they'll be very short, like just like this, ba, which would be like the present tense form.
In the last line there, right before verse 4, are any of those something you're talking about?
Right here?
Yeah, those last
Yeah.
3 words before verse 4.
So right there, what do you think? Does this have to do with coming or bringing? What would be the reason? Tell me why if you're going to tell me an answer. So this one has to do with coming, because there's no yod in between there, and there's no hey on the front of it, right? There's no hey before the vet, and there's no yod between. So it can't have to do with coming, or can't have to do with bringing. It's going to just be coming. Bati means I came. Bati. And then here, same thing. There's no hey in front of it. There's no yod in between the two. It's going to have to do with coming. Bata, you came. And then how about this one? Does this have to do with coming or bringing? Yeah, bringing, because there's the yod in between the two, right? Just like in the infinitive that I wrote, lehavi, to bring. Tavi, so that which you will bring from your land. And then tavo, how about this one? Is that coming or bringing? Yeah, coming again. Good. All right. So just to give examples here of what the ways this will look, when we saw one up there, tavi, right? So that would be like a future tense form. You will bring. And then in present tense, it would have a mem on it, right? And then in the past tense, it'll have the hey on the front. But in some forms, when you're adding other things, it won't have the yod anymore. So it might show up like that. But because of the hey before the vet, just like you're seeing here, you can recognize that, oh yeah, it's not coming, it's bringing. So you'll either have the yod in between the two, right? Or you'll have that hey on the front before the vet. So that's how you can recognize that verb, to bring. These are very common verbs, right? To come and to bring, just on that little section right there, you already see 4 uses of that root. Right there. Okay, so there's our verbs for this week. And then I picked out a bunch more nouns. I noticed we weren't learning very many nouns, so got to learn some nouns too. You guys probably already know this one, most of you. Adam. Anybody familiar with Adam?
We did that last week a little bit.
Yeah, we might have mentioned it. Yeah, I think we did mention it.
Is it like blood or dirt?
So Adam is man,
Okay.
but from the same root, we get the word for dirt, which is Adama, which can be dirt, but it's also ground. Ground is probably the best word for it consistently, but sometimes it would work to refer to as dirt. Adama. So Adam and Adama. So you notice how they're from the same root, right? We have the aleph, dalet, and mem sofit here, so it's just because the last letter on the word, but this is also a mem. Both of them, right? So aleph, dalet, mem. Masculine and feminine form of the same word. One means man and one means dirt or ground. Okay, and then I know we've talked about this word a little bit as well, but we'll go ahead and write it down this week. So the word makom. Who knows that word? Makom.
Play.
Yeah, there we go. Makom is a place. Okay. Place, makom. When I learned this word, I just would think of my comb has a special place that I put it right by the sink. You know, my comb has a special place for my comb. Have to put it in the right place. My comb. Okay, and then how about the word Shem? Anybody know that word? Shem? Name, good. So Shem means name. All right, so those are the words we're going to learn this week. And then all right, so to practice something that we did a little bit last week, we talked about the hey on the end of a word. What is the hey on the end of a word usually indicating? Anybody remember? Yeah, it indicates the feminine form of a word, okay? So if we're looking at the word Shem, which means name, and then you saw it show up with a hey on the end as Shema, what would Shema mean? Her name, right? So Shem is name. Putting the hey on the end shows the possessive feminine suffix. So Shema would be her name. So here on the page it shows up with a mem after the word. Or here's one too. Shmo, So the vav at the end, does anyone remember what that is? The hey is the feminine, her something. The vav on the end is the masculine, right? So his something. So Shmo is his name. Shmo. And then there's another one, I think, another use of it with the mem afterward, I thought I saw. Maybe? No, it must have been Shmo that I saw. Okay, so Shmo.
That means his name.
Yes, Shmo means his name. Shema means her name. And then Shmi, what would Shmi mean? Do you remember the word ani? What is ani?
I, me.
Yeah, I. So that's the first person pronoun, right? So if you put the yod from the end of ani on here, Shmi means my name. Shmi. That's actually one way to introduce yourself. You can just say Shmi and then your name. Shmi Yosef. My name is Joseph. All right, let's see if we can pick out some words that we've already learned over here. How about this one? Yamim. Anybody remember that one? Yamim. Yep, it can mean that. And what else?
Oh, is it days?
Yeah, days or seas, yes.
Okay, so what was the difference?
It's the same, yamim, in the plural, right? Yom is day, though. Yom is day, yam is sea. But in the plural, they sound the same, yamim.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then how about this word, asher? What's that mean? Which, yep. How about this, noten? Gives, yeah. Noten, very good. Lach, what would that mean? Do you remember the lamed on the front of a word? What's the lamed mean? To. And then the kaf sofit as an ending? Anybody? To you.
What?
To you. So lach or lecha means to you. This shows up all over the place, okay? So you see here? Right? And when you come to the land which the Lord your God gives to you, right? And then here it's saying the same thing, the land which the Lord your God gives to you.
There's like a Torah portion, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Go to you. Go to yourself. Or go for yourself is sometimes how they will say it. Yep. Okay, how about this word? Velakachta. What's the root here? Learned that one last week. So the vav on the front, that's not part of the root, right? And then the tav on the end is also added. You, ta. So lakach. What is lakach? Learned it last week. It means to take. So when you take. Velakachta, or you shall take. Velakachta. Lakach. It's interesting, in Hebrew there's a word from that same root, a lekach. So we have the expression in English that, like, we taught him a lesson. I taught him a lesson. That's what they'll say. Limadti oto lekach. A lekach is like a lesson. It comes from this word, a taking. So it's like a takeaway. He got a takeaway from that. Lakach is take. Anybody see any other words up there that you already knew? Like this one, hayom. Ha yom. Yep, today. Yep, or the day. But and then there's lakach again, take, and the priest shall take. Velakach hakohen. And here's the word av. So this is in a long, right? There's a lot added with it, but la, two, av, father, ot, avot, so that's fathers, plural, two, fathers, nu on the end, meaning our, right? So la votenu, to our fathers. Avotenu. And then obviously the word aretz, which I think you guys know. Aretz is showing up a bunch. We have the word for place right here that we just learned, makom. Vehalachta, and you shall go el hamakom. You shall go to the place. Asher, which yivchar Adonai, which the Lord chooses. Obviously, we have the word for coming here, right? Vehaya ki tavo, and it shall be when you come. El haaretz, to the land. Okay, and then there's our word that we learned just now, veyashavta, right? And you shall inherit it, veyashavta ba, and you shall dwell in it. Veyashavta ba.
The last word, ba, is that two words in it?
In it, yeah, basically it's a compound thing, right? It's not really two words, it's one word, but yeah.
Okay.
The hey on the end meaning her, and the bet being in. So in her or in it is referring to a land. So yeah, the word eretz is a feminine word, so things used to describe it or refer to it will be in the feminine form. Yashavta. All right, any other questions? Okay, let's go over the words one more time. So we have yashav, which means to sit or dwell. Yashav, yoshev, you'll see it written as yoshev a lot of times, or lashevet. Lashevet means to dwell or to sit. Lashevet. Okay, then we have bo, the root meaning come, and the other form of it, lehavi. The keys to indicate for you when you're seeing that bet and aleph showing up as the root. Keys to look for is that yod in between the bet and aleph. It means bring, or the hey and before the bet and aleph. So those are the two things to watch for in order to know whether the root is having the meaning of come or bring. Okay, and then some nouns. We got Adam, which means man or mankind. You have Adama, which is the ground or dirt. You have a Makom, which is a place. And Shem, which is a name. So if you're familiar with the word lakum, lakum means to get up or to arise. So this word actually comes from that same word, kum or comb. So in the sense of lehakim is like to raise something up, so the transitive form of that root, to establish something or to raise it up. So a place is a makom, something that's been established, like everybody knows, yeah, that's there. Something that has been set up or raised up, a makom. All right, we'll go ahead and take our break, and be back in about 10 minutes to do the read. porridge or whatever that he wanted. Yeah, I think so. I think that was also red. And then you have Dom. Do you guys know what Dom is? So yeah, it's blood. Dom is blood. So you see how it's all related, right? The Dalet Mem. So Dom, from that basic two-letter root, is really where all of this comes from. The life is in the blood. Adam is made from Adama, and Edom is red and all that. Yeah. So they're all related. Dom. Well, just working off of like a two-letter root structure, which basically in Hebrew everything comes really from two letters. But that's yeah. As far as like having a concrete meaning or whatever, generally you have three-letter roots, but there are like two-letter stem source things that you'll get kind of a variety from those two. So sometimes you don't necessarily have like a pinpointed meaning with just two, but sometimes you do, like with blood. let's go ahead and start the reading. So this week's Torah portion is called Ki Tavo, right? Starting in Deuteronomy 26. So we have Vehaya, and it shall be, Ki Tavo, when you come, El Haaretz, to the land, Asher Adonai Elohecha, which the Lord your God, Noten, what's Noten? Gives, right, Lecha, to you, Nachala. Hannah, what's Nachala? No?
Inheritance.
Yeah, which the Lord your God gives you as an inheritance. Virishta, and you shall take possession of it or inherit it. Vishavta, and you shall, what's this one? We just learned today. Yashav,
Sit,
dwell.
well,
Vishavta va, and you shall dwell in it. Velakachta, and you shall take mereshit from, from the beginnings or the first. Kol pri, all of the fruit. Ha'adama, what's adama?
Ground.
Yeah, all the fruit of the ground. Asher tavi, which you shall bring, right? We learned that one too. Me'artzecha, from your land. Asher Adonai, which the Lord Elohecha, your God, Noten, gives. Lach, to you. Vesamta, and you shall put it, batene, in a basket. Vehalachta, you shall go or walk. El hamakom, to the place. Asher yivchar, which will choose, Adonai Elohecha, the Lord your God, so which the Lord your God will choose. Leshaken, Shemo, Sham. So what's Shemo?
something to do with a girl.
His
Oh, his.
name. His name, yeah. So to the place which the Lord your God chooses, right? Leshaken. This means to dwell or to cause to dwell. Which he chooses to cause his name to dwell. Sham. What is Sham? There. Yeah. It's kind of interesting, right? From the root word Shem, or the base, right, of this one is Shem and Sham. Shemo, Sham. So Sham means there. Shem is a name.
And Sham, that's that Purim. That's one of the 4 things. Sham is what
Oh,
the
yeah.
miracle happened
Yeah.
there.
Nes Gadol
here.
Haya Sham. Yeah. Sham, there.
And here.
Yeah.
What's
So a
here?
dreidel, po is here.
Oh,
Po, yeah.
I forgot. Okay, thank
So on the dreidels in Israel, there's a pei instead of a sheen,
you. Okay.
right? So because the great miracle happened here instead of a great miracle happened there. So,
Okay.
yeah, outside of Israel, the dreidels are made with a sheen on them. Okay. Uvata, and you shall come, El HaKohen, to the what? The Kohen is a priest, right? Asher Yihye, which shall be, which will be, Beyamim Hahem, in those days, right? So Ba Yamim, in the days, Hahem, those days. Ve'amarta, what's this root? Do you guys know this one?
It's deeper.
Yeah, say, Ve'amarta, and you shall say, Elav, to him, Higadti Hayom, Ladonai Elohecha. I have said today to the Lord your God, Kivati, that I have come, El Haaretz, to the land, Asher Nishba, which swore, Adonai Lavotenu, so which swore, which the Lord swore, Lavotenu, to our what? Our,
Fathers.
to our fathers, Latet.
And new is hour at the end.
Yeah, the new on the end is our. Yeah. So what's latet?
Uh,
Latet. To give.
Oh, is
Yeah, it's from that same root. So in the infinitive form, this is an infinitive form of the verb, right? The noon doesn't show up at all, either noon. So that's what I was talking about with this verb being really unusual and weird like that. So latet is the infinitive form, to give. So the land that the Lord swore to our fathers to give to us. Latet lanu. Okay, and going on to verse 4. Velakach, what's that mean? Lakach. We saw this verb last week. We learned it last week. Lakach means take. Velakach hakohen hatanei. So the priest will take the basket. Miyadecha, from your hand. Vehinicho, and he shall put it down. Lifnei, before Mizbach Adonai, before the altar of the Lord, or in front of the altar of the Lord, Elohecha, your God. Lifnei, we talked about that one before a little bit. Panei is like face, the face of, right? So in front of, lifnei means to the face of, in front of. Okay, and then on verse 5, Ve'anita, you answer, Ve'amarta, and you shall say, Lifnei Adonai Elohecha, before the Lord your God, Arami, Oved Avi. So, Armenian or an Mesopotamian or whatever you want to say, yeah, depending. Arami, Oved, which is like perishing. Avi, my father. Okay, so there's actually a couple of thoughts of how this should be translated. So it could be, my father was from Arami, Oved, perishing. My father was a Syrian ready to perish, I think is what the King James says.
Oh, wow.
And then some people take it to mean that an Arami was vexing or trying to end my father, Oved. This is like to perish or loss. Was vexing my father or something like that.
I want to go back up to Leifani.
Oh,
so
Lifnei.
In the middle, it's with an F. That's where the A and the Fe. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There
it'll be a
too.
Fe.
I'm sorry. I was
Yeah,
thinking the early
Lifnei.
one.
Yeah, either one. Yep, they're the same.
In the middle of the word, it changes from Fe to Fe.
Yeah. So it's just on the front of a word, the pei will always be a P sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Vayered Mitzrayma, and he went down to Egypt. So this hey on the end of the word Mitzrayim, you guys probably already know the word Mitzrayim, right? Mitzrayim is Egypt. But the hey on the end there, who knows what that means? Why is there a hey on the end? Why is it Mitzrayma instead of just Mitzrayim?
It's not plural.
So listen to the context, okay? So my father was a Syrian ready to perish, Vayered, and he went down Mitzrayma. Directional, toward Egypt. So a hey coming after the name of a place or a thing can be toward that place or thing. So you'll see this show up a lot with names in biblical Hebrew. So like you'll see, instead of Yerushalayim, you'll see Yerushalayma, toward Jerusalem. Or Bait or Baita, toward the house. Right?
There's a song, it's Jerusalem. It's Jerusalema, I think.
Oh. That might be another language too, but yeah.
What? What did you say?
That might be
Towards
from another language or something, but yeah, Yerushalayma would be toward Jerusalem, to Jerusalem.
Okay.
So it's the same thing with directions too. So like, or even that word that we saw just a minute ago, sham, there, you can say shama, which is like to there or toward there, shama. But yeah, like with the directions of east, did anybody know how to say east in Hebrew? Mizrach. Mizrach is east. So Mizracha is eastward. So you can use them with those as well. But yeah, in modern Hebrew, that concept is not used much except with set words that are very commonly done that way, like Sham and Shama, Bait and Habaita, and like the directions east, north, northward, southward, and all those. But they don't use it just on anything, like on the name of a place in modern Hebrew. That's only a biblical Hebrew style. So, Mitzrayma, toward Egypt. Vayered, and he went down Mitzrayma, toward Egypt. Vayagor Sham, and he lived there. Bimte Me'at, few in number, very few in number. Vayihisham, and he was there, or he became there. Legoy Gadol. What is Goy Gadol?
Lots of
Goy Gadol, a great
Oh,
nation. A great nation, a big nation. The Goy
opposite
Gadol.
Israel.
Atzum Verav. And they're a great nation. Rav is like many, right? And Atzum can just be like massive or great. Great in number. So it's basically three words that mean big or great in number. Gadol,
must be a lot.
Atzum, Verav. I think so.
It says it 3 times.
Yeah, if you remember in the story at the end of, or the beginning of Exodus, right? It talks about how they're teeming, like how fast they're multiplying. It's like the same word used for the creeping things in Genesis 1 when he's talking about creating all the creeping things, the water's just teeming with life or whatever. It's that same thing. So there was a lot of them.
Lots of babies.
Lots of babies. Okay, did I scroll too far there or what happened? Where were we? Oh yeah, that's the end of that. Okay, so the next verse. Vayareu otanu. And they were, let's see, who can tell me the root here? No, good.
Light.
It's close, but Reish Aleph would have to do with seeing. So this is the Reish and Ayin. Bad, yeah. They did evil.
Oh,
Bad. Ra is evil, so they did evil to us. Vayareu otanu. Hamitzrayim. Hamitzrim, the Egyptians. Vayanunu.
That's a no-no.
Yeah. And they oppressed or afflicted us. Vayitnu aleinu avodah kasha. And they gave, right? 10, you guys see the root? 10, Natan. Vayitnu, and they gave or put aleinu upon us. Avodah. Who knows that word? Avodah, work, good. Kasha, hard work. So they put on hard work on us. Vanitzak, and we shouted or cried out. Vanitzak el Adonai, Elohei Avotenu, the God of our fathers. Cried out to the God of our fathers. Vayishma. What's that mean? And he heard. Vayishma Adonai, and the Lord heard et kolenu.
All.
Kol,
All.
yeah, with a cough, but this is a kuf.
Almost.
Voice.
Voice.
So kol with a kuf means voice, and kol with a kaf means all. So with kol kuli would be all of my voice. No. Kol koli. Kolenu. So he heard our voice. Vayar. That's the one you were thinking of, Mrs. Jones. Vayar, and he saw et anyenu. He saw our suffering. So here you can see the difference, right? The Reish Aleph, Reish Ayin has to do with evil. So they saw our suffering, anyenu, ve'et amalenu, and our toil, ve'et lachatzenu, and our distress. So in modern Hebrew too, they use this lachatz. Lachatz is like stress. Stress. Ani balachatz. I'm stressed. Okay, verse 8. Fayotzienu. Who can tell me what that means? Fayotzienu. No? Yodea would be knowing or knowledge. Yotzi.
I'm sorry if I said
Yotzienu. Does it sound like anything else? Yotzi, motzi. Anybody remember? No?
I don't remember what that word means.
Okay, to bring out, to bring forth. So like in Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, he brings forth bread from the earth.
Okay.
So vayotzienu, the Lord
So
brought
those
us.
two words are the same. I mean,
Yeah, it's
not
the same
same,
verb.
but
It's this. This is a future tense form, and that was present.
Okay.
Motzi, yotzi.
Okay.
It's the same basic thing. Yeah. So vayotzienu Adonai mimitzrayim. So the Lord brought us out from Egypt. So you see the mem on the front here, meaning from Egypt. Mimitzrayim. Who's disturbing the class back there?
I'm just here to learn.
It can't be
that's all.
Ellie, can it? Is it Ellie? Okay. Bayad chazakah, with a strong hand. Yes, yad is hand. With a strong hand. You guys know the word chazak, right?
Yeah.
Chazakah. Bayad chazakah. He brought us out from Egypt with a strong hand, uvizroah, and with a, what is zroah? Do anyone know that word? Zroah is the arm. Okay, so yad actually covers like this whole part of your hand or your forearm,
Okay.
and then the zroah is your arm. So this is like the upper arm. So with a strong hand, uvizroah netuyan, with an outstretched arm. So it's more than just like a little gesture, right? It's an outstretched arm. So it's like you're getting your shoulder involved with the whole thing, and not just like your hand doing something. So a strong hand, that could be something, but when there's the outstretched arm, it's much bigger. Uvizroah netuya, uvemorah gadol, and with great signs, uveotot, uvemoftim, and signs and wonders. So yeah, I wonder how this would be translated. It has to do, you can see the root, right, is the resh aleph, uvemorah. So it's something that you're seeing, like a sign. But this word is generally what's translated as sign. So you got to add another word like sign, signs, great signs, uvemoftim, and wonders.
Can I go back to that? What is that word? Bod, or whatever it is.
Biyad,
Yeah. Okay. So the next word, you said that's strong.
chazakah, yeah.
Is that anything to do with Hezekiah's name?
Yeah. Chizkiah is, God is strong, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. V'yevienu. So what's this going to mean? We know the root. Just,
Or go.
yeah. So because of the E, right? So there's a yud here missing, but you can see the E vowel, right? Yevienu. So it's bring.
Oh, the
Yevienu.
bring comes
Yeah,
from over
coming
there.
from come and bring, yeah. So Vayivienu, and he brought us El Hamakom, to the place. Hazeh, this place. Vayiten, what's yiten? He gave lanu, to us, et haaretz, the land, hazot, this land. Eretz, a land, zavat, flowing. Eretz zavat chalav, milk, udvash, and honey. So a land flowing with milk and honey. Eretz zavat chalav udvash. A land flowing with milk and honey. Have you guys ever heard that song? I don't know the whole song, I just know that one part that goes Eretz zavat chalav, chalav udvash. Eretz zavat chalav, chalav udvash.
That's what.
A land flowing with milk and honey. Ellie, do you know the whole song? Is there a bunch more to it that I just don't know? Seems like there is. We should look it up. All right, verse 10. Ve'ata, and now. Hine. What's hine? Behold. Heveti. What's it going to be? Heveti.
Would be, is it the
No.
Is it love? Something or life?
What's the root we're working with?
Go.
And the hay on the front of the vet and olive. So what's the meaning going to be? Instead of coming, it's going to be,
Came.
we talked about it over here, right? So when you see that E between those letters, right, the vowel of E or a yod in between the bet and olive, or the hay in the front of the two, it's going to have to do with bringing instead of coming, right? So, hine haveti, behold, I have brought, et reshit, I've brought the first, the beginnings of the pri ha'adama, the fruit of the ground, pri ha'adama, asher natata li, which you have given to me, Adonai. Vehinachto lifnei Adonai, and he will place it before the Lord, Elohecha, your God. Vehishtachavita, and you shall bow down, lifnei Adonai, before the Lord, Elohecha, your God. Okay. Reshit, right? So just like the word bereshit, right? Just without the bet. Reshit, the first or the head, the first of. Yes.
So you said Leifani. Is that what you said? Leifani.
Lifnei.
Lifnei.
This one?
So
Yeah.
when we were learning Hebrew, they said something about the nay or nay
Mm-hmm.
being actually the nose. No? Or is it the base?
Off is like nose usually.
I don't know.
Off could
just
be,
some-
well, no, you might be right because you have, I could see that maybe because of like the word panim can also have to do with like a facet of something. So your nose actually has sides to it. So it's
and if
possible
it's oily,
because
it's
in
like
biblical
fat.
Hebrew, in biblical Hebrew, off is like the nostril
Oh.
itself. So it is possible that it could have had connotation of the nose. But yeah,
Well,
I have
one thing
heard that before.
about that to me was that it seems like a lot of times Yahweh is smelling things when it comes before him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Just something
Yep.
to think about.
Okay, verse 11. Vesamachta. The root, samach. Anybody know that word? Sameach.
Oh,
What is-
joy.
Yeah. Vesamachta, and you shall be glad, shall rejoice, bechol, in all hatov,
Good.
all the good, asher, which Natan gave lecha, to you, Adonai. You guys knew that whole line. Vesamachta bechol hatov, asher Natan lecha Adonai. Shall be glad, you shall rejoice with all the good that the Lord your God gives you. Elohecha, Adonai Elohecha, the Lord your God. Ulevetecha, and to your house. So it's not just to you, but also to your house. Ata vehalevi, you and the Levite, vehager, the stranger, asher bekirbecha, which is in your midst. Esamachta, you shall rejoice.
Joseph, I have a personal question.
Okay.
Are you a rabbi?
No, not.
Isn't rabbi like a teacher or someone that helps you learn stuff? Or is that the wrong word?
Yes, kind of.
That's spiritual.
Yeah, it's usually like a Torah teacher or something, I guess.
So what are you?
I'm just Joseph.
What is your
I'm just
I'm just me.
what is your
just-
position
I'm just
in this room right
little
now?
me. I would be a more,
Mole.
a teacher, more.
More. I think
Yeah,
Omre.
more. Okay.
more is just teacher of anything. That could be anything. Rabbi actually is somebody who kind of more has a status or level that they've attained in Torah learning, and then that's given to them by whatever, a group of rabbis basically saying, yeah, you're at that level where we can call you a rabbi. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, verse 12. Okay. Ki techale laser et kol masal tvuatcha. All right, so ki tichale. So you notice here the root is kol. What does kol mean?
All.
All. So it's saying when you have finished or completed, you've done all. Ki techale laser et kol masal. Anybody remember the word masal? Masal from the word eser. Who knows that word? Eser. It's a number. 10. So it's a tithe. The masal is a tithe. Okay, so when you've completed tithing all of your tithes, tvuatcha, of your increase, bashana shlishit, in the third year, shnat ha'maaser, the year of the tithe, v'natata lalevi, and you shall give, right, natata lalevi, to the Levite, lager, to the stranger, layatom, to the orphan, vela almana, and to the widow, ve'achlu. What does that mean? Anybody know the word achal? You know that root? Achal? Eat. Ve'achlu. Ve'achlu, and you shall eat it bish'arecha, in your gates. Ve'achlu bish'arecha, in your gates. Sha'ar is a gate.
Oh, okay.
Vasaveu, and you shall be satisfied. Vasaveu. Seva, sova. You see the sin vet ayin has to do with like satisfaction, being pleased with something, which is interesting. That's probably part of the connotation of sheva, 7, being the number of completion, because you have shin vet ayin with a sin though, but it means like satisfaction, or yeah, being satisfied. So you see that same type of meaning with 7 being like a fullness or completion. Okay, verse 13, ve'amarta. So what's that? Amar? Say, right? Ve'amarta, and you shall say, lifnei Adonai Elohecha, before the Lord your God. Bi'arti, so I've removed hakodesh min habayit. So I've taken out all of the set-apart things from the house, right? So you've taken out all your tithes. Vegam natativ, or netativ, and I've also given it, la levi, to the priest, or to the Levite, velager, and to the stranger, la yatom, to the orphan, vela almana, and to the widow, kechol, according to all, mitzvatcha, your commandment. You just know that word mitzvah? So mitzvatcha, your commandment. Asher tzivitani, which you have commanded me. Lo avarti. Oh, what's this word? Avar. What does that have to do with?
Lo is no, right?
Yeah, lo is no, and then what's avar? It was on the first lesson. What does that verb mean? Avar. It means to pass, to cross,
Oh.
to cross over. So here it's being used in a different connotation than what we talked about. So you're saying, I've done according to your commandment, kechol mitzvatcha, according to all of your commandment that you commanded me. Lo avarti mi mitzvotecha. So I have not passed over your commandment. I haven't transgressed or gone over your commandment. I haven't gone against it. Mi mitzvotecha. Velo shachachti. and I have not forgotten. Okay, and then 14, lo achalti, I have not eaten, be'oni, in sadness or in mourning, mimenu, not eaten it in mourning, velo bi'alti mimenu, haven't removed from it, betameh, for the unclean, velo natati mimenu lamet, haven't given any of it to the dead, shamati bekol Adonai, I have listened and obeyed, kol, right, the voice, bekol Adonai, Elohai, my God, the voice of the Lord, my God. Asiti, okay, so what's the root here? This is one of the verbs that we've covered, anybody remember? Asiti. Asa, what is asa? Ayin sin hey, asa. Anybody? To make or do. So asiti, I have done. Kechol, according to all. Asher tzivitani, according to all which you commanded me. So you notice this word showed up a lot right here in this area, right? So mitzvatcha, your commandment. Tzivitani, you commanded me. So you're seeing that tzadi vav is usually what you'll see to notice that's the root. The full root is tzadi vav and hey. Okay, so here the hey turned into a yud. Here it's going into the plural, so the tav, we have the vav tav. Mitzvatcha, tzivitani. Then we see it showing up again here. Mi mitzvotcha, or mi mitzvotecha, the commandments. And then again, tzivitani. So the tzadi vav hey, to command.
I found it interesting. I'm not sure what that was that you said up there, but it sounded like you said, I've not offered food to the dead. Is that what that says?
Yeah, pretty much. It was talking about all the tithes and increase, right? And it says, Velo natati mimenu, I have not given from it, lamet, to the dead.
I was just thinking in some of the older Eastern religions.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
pretty common.
Right, yeah. So it hasn't been, it's basically saying, immediately after that, right? Shamati bekol Adonai Elohai. I've listened to the voice of the Lord my God. I haven't partaken in those other religion things of either giving it to the dead or haven't allowed it to be used for unclean purposes or by unclean people even, and haven't eaten of it when I was in mourning.
What did you just say? Not giving it to unclean people?
So it says, Lo bi'alti mimenu betame. So I haven't removed from it or taken some out from it for uncleanness. So tame could be referring to an unclean thing, an unclean person, somebody who's just not pure at the moment, right? So even just saying hasn't just been dealt with in a casual manner, like it was given specifically to these people who it was commanded to be given to, or used to rejoice together at the feast, which it mentioned about, all rejoicing together, eating it, and being satisfied.
It's talking basically about the food during the feast.
It's talking about tithes, the stuff that was set aside of the increase. So stuff that's supposed to be taken to the place or whatever. And when you bring that basket and you say, all of my tithes have been dealt with properly. Yeah. Okay, we'll take one more verse here and finish out to the end of the section here at the Sameh. So we're here. Hashkifa. So this is look or behold. Mima'on kodshecha, from the place of your holiness. Mina shamayim, from the heavens. Uvarech, and bless et amcha. What's am? Anybody know the word? Am? People. Am Yisrael Chai, right? The people of Israel. So, barech et amcha, bless your people. Et Yisrael, Israel. Ve'et ha'adama, and the ground, or the land. Asher natata lanu, which you gave lanu, to us. Kasher, as, or Yeah. As
Not
nish
kosher.
ka'asher. Yeah. Nishbata, as you have sworn la'avotenu, to our fathers. And then again, Eretz Zavat Chalav Udvash, a land flowing with milk and honey. Dvash. Dvash is honey. Dvash.
So the fourth word in kasher, that's does have to do with holy or something.
No,
What-
it's asher, so it's basically just asher, which or who. So which you gave to us, kasher nishbata, as or when you command or you swore to our fathers. Okay. Any questions? We did 16 verses. Pretty soon we'll be so fast at this, we will be like reading through the whole portion in 30 minutes. Because I want to translate everything because you guys will just be understanding as we go and just be like, yeah, we know that. We would be there if we had a couple more years to do this, right? Then we could get to that point. But that's all it takes. Just keep doing it. I'm hoping to continue with something like this. I don't know exactly what it will look like, but even, continuing to do something once a week where I'll have a thing.
When you leave.
Yeah, even
here
after I
to
leave
do
and
it.
do it online or something. I may not while I'm in Israel, but at some point soon I want to start up something that's a consistent weekly thing. We'll do it online and just take, even if it's just 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, just reading and going over words and stuff.
I love doing the Torah portion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's very helpful, and we need to not be disconnected from the Hebrew. That's what I think. That's my personal opinion. I think it's very important for God's people to realize, that the Torah is Hebrew. The Torah is in Hebrew. All right. Thanks for coming.